Welcome, everyone, to another enlightening Ascension Wisdom Conversations. It is brought to you by Galactic Ascension Academy at SheilaTillich.com. Yes, this is the time to awaken and live your soul's mastery. I am a galactic grandmother, Sheila Tillich, and I invite you to relax and enjoy this time together as we discover our Ascension Wisdom Mastery. As souls, we have entered a higher dimensional reality as humans on planet Earth. This is the new energy consciousness. It has awakened our multidimensional spiritual DNA abilities, which are given to us by our galactic ancestors. Join me, dear ones, as we live at our soul's full potential, live in our wisdom mastery in this ascension time. Hello, everybody. This is Sheila Tillich, and this is Ascension Wisdom. And I am so glad that you are here to join us today. And I have a very special video or time with my close friend, Shira. And Shira is a wonderful higher being just like me. And I'm going to introduce her. So Shira, hello. I see you're there.
Hi. So yeah, I am Lady Shia. I have been in the spiritual path officially for the past 38 years. However, by the time I was 3 years old, I was already getting messages to go up and tell people that, God told me to tell you this. God told me to tell you this. And so I am nothing but a divine conduit slash FedEx messenger. I was joking that the other day. But I'm just here to help pass on messages and information from divine source to help people live their highest and greatest selves.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Shira and I, we kind of hooked up this past year, and we both live in the Rochester community.
Yes.
So Shira, can you explain what your community is all about? And then I will explain what my community is all about. And we are very similar to what we do.
It's amazing how similar we are. And Sheila and I have definitely had a lot of discussions about the similarities. But basically, my community is what would be considered the pagan or wiccan or witchcraft community, where we're following the old ways. We're going back into the core of the earth, the core of the things that came from those ancient shamanistic practices into modern witchcraft and even into the new age thinking and ascension style thinking. It's the old methods of approaching the new stuff that you're approaching.
Exactly. And I love it. I love it. And that's how we're connected. So
Yeah.
when I first started sharing about myself to Shira, I kind of explained that I was actually a Shaw woman, a shaman, and I came through the Lemurian Sisterhood, that I was part of that for 5 years. That's part of the Cryon group. And the Lemurian Sisterhood is about shamanism, and it's about how we all started with Mother Earth and our connection to the elements, everything that is around us, and how we are all, many of us, and I want to say all of us are affected by it, but many of us are awakening to who we really are as divine beings. We
Yeah.
are the Shaw women, the divine feminine, but we're also part of the divine masculine, about blending them together and balancing each other out. And that's exactly what is happening in the universe today. But our roles as healers, as mentors, as guiders, or Shaw women, showing the way to others and living our sacred truth, who we really are. So our actual communities are very much alike. We deal with helping heal whatever needs to be healed in its own way. The actual connection with Mother Gaia is very, very important. I love how Shira, when she has her groups, she has a lot of online stuff where she does spells, but she actually does prayers and blessings. And she brings the energy through Mother Gaia. And it's the same thing as what I do when I connect with the earth every single day. my own frequency, my own life. And then also when I do my groups, Galactic Ascension Academy. So it's all the same. It's just maybe different language and maybe it's the same language, but it's all about where we are on planet Earth right now. And it is such a big, big change. So Shira, I don't know about you, girl, but this last month, but this last year, but especially this past month, has been a whirlwind. And I know from the Star
Preach
Mothers
it,
that
sister. Preach it.
exactly, is that this is the galactic gateway, the cosmic gateway, and this is so important stuff that we're all going through. And it's all about the frequency. It's
Yeah, it
about
really is.
consciousness, exactly, about how you think, how you behave, what is stuck with inside you. And you call it the shadows, and I call it the issues in the tissues.
I love that. I love it. Every time you say it, it tickles my funny bone.
It does, because it's the same thing. It goes back to Lemuria and also the
Mhm.
shamanism of who we are as divine beings in our
Yeah.
connection to Mother Gaia and the energy from Mother Gaia and how we, as electromagnetic fields, we are an electromagnetic machine. That's who we
Hmm.
are. And we need the air from Mother Gaia. We need the nourishment from Mother Gaia, even though I won't tell about the meal that you just had. I won't tell about that. But
Oh, I had some junk food. Okay. I will admit I had some junk food.
that's
It was
okay.
good too. Not good for me. I'll pay for it later, but hey.
Yeah, right.
Mm,
But I love is that now everything is awakening from the food that we have in our food supply, how things are changing in America and also
mhm.
in the world, and how it is affecting our everyday lives. It is phenomenal. And my biggest thing to help people nowadays is the electronics, the 5G
Yes.
network and everything that's coming through. And of course, we with us being, Zoomers, and we do all this YouTube stuff and the podcasts and everything, we have to use electronics. We have to be on the computer. However, what I try to share people is have it in balance. All right. And especially, this is one of my biggest tips is at night when you're sleeping, turn the Wi-Fi off, turn it
Turn it
completely off
off.
and do not have any electronics by you, not by your head. If you're going to need your phone in the room, take it 5 to 10 feet away. Exactly. Exactly. And
One
she's,
must remember that our computers, our monitors, our devices are portals, just like mirrors can be portals. And energy can and will pass through. So as I look through my office space in my witch's room, every portal, aka door and window in this room, has a selenite stick at the threshold of it. But guess where else a selenite stick is kept? Between me and my computer to purify the energies that are coming through.
yeah,
So yeah, that's an important thing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And also, I used to work in healthcare, and we all know that when there's a full moon coming, that, it gets crazy, all the deaths and the births, basically.
Hmm.
And however, this past month, it hasn't stopped. It's not just the full moons, it's of course the solar rays and all the stuff that many of us are learning or is coming through, but there's more of the galactic stuff coming in that is impeding the sun, which is also affecting the electromagnetic field too. And you know, the people that you connect with, Shara, have you seen, especially this last 2 weeks, the besides the electronic stuff being messed up, and they always say Mercury retrograde, but it's more than
Solar
that.
flares do it too. Yes.
Yeah, it's more than that, but also physical stuff that are happening to people. And what I try to explain to them is just the recalibration of this frequency, our DNA, and our cellular memory, or who we are as electromagnetic beings. and
Let me go
connecting.
back a few thousand years ago. We did not have the science that we have now to explain things. So when you are speaking your language, you are using our modern understanding, our modern sciences to explain concepts that are older than time itself. It's the as above, so below. All these energies are existent. All you're doing is using new modern language to show the things that we know, that we are having a return to those synergistic, creatrix style energies that truly bring us out of what I call this high school plane that we're on right now and up into a better, higher self, the ascension energies as you describe it.
Exactly, exactly. And I love how we are saying the same language. We're
Hmm.
saying the same language, exactly. And our bodies know. Our bodies know, the divinity within us know. And I love the actual connection. Um, so where do you want to go from here, girl? Um,
Well, I want to think about why we're coming into this point of ascension energy and where everybody's kind of feeling a lot of this heavy pressure and energies that you're talking about. Why we're having so many solar flares and activities and heavy celestial events. And I think that really comes down to the fact that we had this isolationism initially when we first came onto this planet. We had our little tribes, our little individual groups, and in our individual groups we were able to kind of grow and thrive. And of course, you get bored enough, you start thinking philosophy and where does the sun come from, where does the moon go at the end of the day, wonder what those big old stars are up in the sky. And that's where spirituality and ultimately religion were born from. Well, we went from this little microcosm world into greater and greater sized microcosms. Then we have gotten into this macrocosm world now that we are in. Even up to 100 years ago, we were still fairly isolated. It took time to travel. It took time to go from one place to another. And our times on our traveling and our communication with other cities, other villages, other countries improved and more over the year. But we still had the microcosm and individual growths, individual developments, individual ascensions were happening in smaller groups
mhm.
and only in groups that could take their eyes off of the everyday, let me batter you with the mundane, and have the time to contemplate. Oh, yeah, I wonder where the stars come from. I wonder if there are more beings out there than what we have on this planet, you know? And in some ways, that wonderment and that curiosity is a luxury. So we have finally gotten into, I believe, the macrocosmic world to where we truly have instant level communications, instant level groups. So all of us who are seekers are, whether we are coming from the old ways or the new, the seekers are finding each other and we are coming together. And this is a time right now with all the turmoil in the world. I'm going to take us back to the original harvesters that we had here. When you would harvest grain, you would have your wheat and you grab it all in and you take it to what was called the threshing floor.
Yeah. Totally.
Now, what would happen on the threshing floor is they would pile all this stuff that they took their sickle out and they were harvesting. And they'd get a big old pitchfork, grab it, and throw it up in the air. And all the heavy wheat grains would fall. And all the chaff, which was that kind of like the husks and all the leaves and stuff, would catch the wind and blow away. What we're doing right now is we're separating the wheat from the chaff. All this turmoil that's going on. This is the big old pitchfork coming and tossing us all up in the air. And we're like, ah! But you know what? Those of us who are heavy with the energy, heavy with the ascension, heavy with the intention of healing and are looking into our shadows and our issues in the tissues, we're going to fall in a nice little grain pile to be able to nourish one another, grow together, and create future harvests where the chaff is going to get blown away. And everybody's like, well, the chaff just seems like it's so pervasive right now. Well, you think about it, if you're throwing it all up in the air and the wheat's falling down and we're huddling together, the chaff is choking the air at the moment, which is kind of what's happening. The chaff is out there. The idiots are out there choking up the airwaves, trying to blah, 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 and get out there with all of their, look over here, I'm Mr. BG, look at me. And we, the wheat, we're coming together. We're germinating together. And we're waiting for the chaff to blow away. And then we will have clear skies and a new harvest together. So there's my diatribe for the day.
That is wonderful. I love the way you put that. And what I'd like to add to that is with those, everything that's blown away and the wheat that we are, we are also the seeds. The seeds that
Yes.
are being planted exactly for those that are awakening up and they're seeing all this discombobulation. They're seeing everything blowing all over the place and feeling so unsettled. That's where we come into play. And the serendipity of it all is wonderful. The networking
Yeah.
of sharing our wisdom, help others to understand that we're going to be okay. Planet Earth is going to survive, and we are going to do bigger and better things than we ever done. So the future for our children, our grandchildren, that's what I want to hold on to. I want to see where this is all going to take me because they told me I'm going to live 120 years.
Nice.
Well, I don't, yeah, that's another 50 years from now. So I'm going on 71. So, but I'm going to put that at least 100, at least 100 for me. So I got another 30 years to go. And I
My
want to
grandma did that. She's like, I'm going to live to be 100 and then I'm going home. And that's how she saw going to the other side was that's her home. She's going home.
exactly, exactly. So I'm really excited for the young people that are wakening up and they're seeking us out. And they're exactly who needs to come to us. Like this, when the student is ready, the
The
teacher
master
appears.
will
Have
appear.
you been feeling that too? It's like it's wonderful.
Yes, and I've been seeing a lot more of what you would call in the Buddhist concept a bodhisattva. I've been seeing a lot of bodhisattvas around. And for those who are not familiar with the Buddhist concept of bodhisattva, these are people who are ready to escape the wheel, who are ready to go to on their ascension journey, and who are ready to get off of this corporeal, weird high school existence that we have here and
Mhm.
move on to the next level. But there are so many that have decided, yeah, maybe I can move on, but I need to come back and I need to help others ascend because, we can't always stay on the mountaintop. We've got to go to the valley to show people here's the path up the mountain and we can all be on the mountaintop together.
Exactly.
So I have been seeing a lot of young bodhisattvas. I this past weekend when I was reading over at Mythic, I had one that came in that she was about 14, 15, and it just blew my mind. And it's like, you are ancient and you are frustrated that nobody's taking you seriously. And her jaw hit the floor and she looked at me like, you see it. And I'm like, oh, it's hard not to. And then mom came up and starts hearing that. And you're like, okay, yeah, you're right. And then I took mom to the side for a little bit. And I'm like, you need to know what a precious gift you have here. Your child is ancient and is venerated and venerable and ascended and back to help people. I'm
Exactly.
seeing a lot more about that. How about you?
Oh, all the time, all the time. And I come across people that being a recovery metaphysician, I've got a lot of recovery work behind me, but mostly is that we are growing and changing so quickly and people are reaching different statuses and they say, I need to do more. And they thought they were going to be happy where they're at, and all of a sudden they're going in a different direction. And I love that analogy because everything that I've experienced, my last 70 years, I use now. And my soul knew, like when you talked about when you were a little girl, what you connected, and that's the same with me, being able to see the angels and talk with them since I was little, and my soul knew what my actual purpose was. I didn't know it at the time, but a lot of people that in the work and recovery work is really seeking me out, that, and it's also helping my situation, which you are very understanding about my situation, my own personal situation. And I love it because you help me and I help them. And it's like one big circle of oneness,
Love
oneness.
is an expansive and endless energy. The more we give, the more we have to give. And when we can center ourselves, heart centered communication, heart centered working with one another, when we lift each other up, we all fly higher. And, I love the work that you do in recovery because when we think about it, the human condition is addiction. We are addicted to feeling good. We are addicted to finding ways to feel better. And I think in some ways, this is a beautiful design because we are meant to be addicted towards connection, addicted towards learning. Those are our true dopamines. And if we can take people off of these things which are toxic and harmful and saying, hey, here's the real mega drug that will
Yeah.
keep you happy for the rest of your life, which
Yeah.
is connection and community and love and heart-centered communication.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I talk about with the love or the fear. You have two choices. And this discombobulate with what's going on, especially in America right now, is about staying in the lower frequency or the lower fear, the control. And I don't know whether I ever share with you or not, but I don't believe in labels anymore. I don't like the words, and it's wrong because we all go through, we're all addicted to something, just like what you said.
Yes.
We're addicted to thoughts, we're addicted to people, possessions. And it's all about the learning that we're getting here on planet Earth, the classroom of planet Earth, which you shared about and I share about all the time. And that if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't be able to do the work I'm doing now. And those other ones also were waiting for me, that their souls were waiting for me and I was waiting for them. And that's the connection again. We talk
You
about the
bring
divine.
up an interesting point because we're talking about all of these souls that are coming back to reincarnate, that are getting those choices. Some who are the bodhisattvas, the ascended masters, who are returning to us to bring us enlightenment, to bring us help, and to bring us guidance. But you also have the people who are just like on that cusp,
Yes.
of like, do I go flat or do I grow and become a butterfly? Do I ascend? And one of the things that I've very much seen with those people that are on the cusp, and this is our great responsibility, those of us who are healers, those of us who are facilitators, our great responsibility is to not be gatekeepers.
Yes.
If I can quote the Bible for a moment, you
Yeah.
have Jeremiah 29:11-13, which is, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans for a hope and a future, because you will seek me and you will find me when you seek me with all of your heart. When somebody is seeking spirituality, they will find a path to the divine, whether it be New Age, Old Wave, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, absolutely nothing. An atheist will find their path to God. They may not call it God. Who cares? What they're really discovering is that inner light within themselves and that inner light that we all have. And it is our responsibility to not be the gatekeepers, to not label things, so that we can say, come into the circle. We are all one here. We are unique. We definitely see color. We're not colorblind. We see color and we celebrate it.
Oh, exactly. 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 I love that.
So, I
I
mean,
love that.
I got a lot of soapboxes on this.
So do I, and that's why we're so much alike. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Um, the spirituality part. Now I've got my peacock feathers behind me, and I also have my elephant behind me,
I
and
love
of
your
course,
elephant.
no, I know, and I've got so much of everything else, all my angels and my shamanism stuff, and my little Indian doll back there, and I have my prayer sticks in the back there, and there are lots of different things, but they all symbolize something that's very, very important to me, and that's that inner light, which you were talking about, the inner light and who we are as divine beings and why we're here. And it's amazing, that inner light. Uh, I talk a lot about the galactic and the cosmic. And when I talk about recovery, a lot of people automatically go to the addictions, and it's more about enlightenment. It's enlightenment and awakening. It's about why we are here and why are we stuck. Another word for recovery is being stuck. Just recovering from the old ways, opening
Yes.
up to the new ways. But it's really your soul way. It's your soul. It's your soul way. And the spirituality part, I love it. And isn't it interesting how it is shifting? The
Yeah.
religions are coming together, the spiritual part. Even the atheists,
Yes. And I
they
mean, it's funny because even if you look at, and some people are like, oh, Satanism, if you look on the back of the Satanic Temple's card, their principles and their guiding principles are all about respect and consent and enjoyment, but enjoyment within reason and respecting the people around you and stuff. And I'm like, even a Christian reading the back of those principles would be like, yeah, I agree with this. And I'm like, you just agreed with the Satanic Temple. I did what? People, we have to realize that we are more alike than we are different. The golden rule, you can find a version of it in every spiritual path out there. Just treat people the way you would like to be treated. And just because you can't eat a hamburger doesn't mean that I can't have a hamburger from McDonald's, even though it was unhealthy. That sort
well,
of thing.
well, to be honest with you, I have a steak setting getting ready for me tonight. It's a cube steak, but it is a steak, and it's like no, and it's like, I need the protein. I have to have the protein, and that's the way my body is. It's not that I eat it every single day, but I do eat. I do eat meat,
Right.
and of course it's very good meat. It's very that's a whole nother story. But it's like, the judgment. We're judging each other and we're feeling guilty and stuff like that. It's like, who cares? Who cares?
No gatekeeping. We need to get
Right?
rid of the gatekeeping.
I like
Okay.
that.
If this is your path to your spirituality and the divine, that's great. But treat it like cherry pie. If you enjoy cherry pie, then by all means, eat the cherry pie. Love the cherry pie. Glory in the cherry pie. But for goodness sake, do not put the pie in somebody else's face. It is
Exactly.
not your job to try to shove their face full of cherry pie or throw cherry pie onto their face or force them to eat cherry pie. They may have an aversion to cherries. They may like peach cobbler. Let them have their peach cobbler. You enjoy your cherry pie.
Exactly. The same with the cherry cheesecake.
Yes. I like that idea better. But yeah, I always go with the pie in the face thing. So that's my analogy.
I know that. I love that too. The pie in the face is wonderful. I like that. Um, I like cake better than pie, but ice cream is really my forte. But
Now I want sweets. See, look what you've done. You've turned me into unhealthy today. But you know what? It's okay. The Greeks
exactly.
have, I believe, the best viewpoint in the world about this, which comes from ancient Greek, and it's Cuomo Universale. And actually, that's the Italian version of it that was done in the Renaissance man, basically, but in the Italian Renaissance. Cuomo Universale. That is the universal man, the person who is completely balanced in all things. They won't go to complete excesses or complete lack. Okay. Can you sit there and take a vow of poverty and absolutely like do nothing? Yeah, you can. Is that necessarily doing the highest and greatest good? Not necessarily. Could you find a way to make it work? Sure. Could you turn around and be the richest person in the world and hoard everything to you, and find a way to make it work? Yeah, sure. But what's the best thing? Dolly Parton. That's the best thing. You look at Dolly Parton, and she is a very wealthy, outrageous, fun, crazy individual that makes no apologies for who she is and where she is and the money that she makes. But she spends so much of her money giving out free books, philanthropy, the whole nine yards. She doesn't apologize for having what she has. And my goodness, she will drive her pink Cadillac. You know, she's got a custom Cadillac, and she's like, I will enjoy what I have. I will enjoy the pleasures in life, but I have so much. Let me give back. And she's one of the greatest philanthropists that we have living these days with money.
Exactly. I love Dolly Parton.
Balance. Balance.
Balance is right. Balance is the key. So between the two of us, we have so much wisdom. And I would like you to share with my community how they can get a hold of you, all the beautiful things that you do on your live events that you have. And I've been on many of them, and I have been blessed by many of them, very much so. And
I've definitely been blessed by you and your healing too, big time.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Sheila, and I know you're not having me on to blow up your ego, but I'm going to do it for a minute. You have one of the most genuine hearts of many of the people that I know. You are truly passionate and truly caring for the things that you do. When you involve yourself in healing and helping, you pour out all of you, and you are a crystal clear glass to see through. You make yourself available and transparent, and I honor you for that. That is amazing about you.
Thank you, dear sister.
And so yeah, if anybody wants to get a hold of me, I am at Lady Shiya, SHIYA.com. You can hang out there. All my links are there. You can message me. I am infinitely available. My energy is not for everybody, and that's okay, because we're not going to have one path for all people. I am an omnitheist, and I fully believe that there is truth and value and good in all religions, but no one religion holds all truth, goodness, and value in itself.
That's wonderful.
So the more we come together and learn from each other, the better off we're all going to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this has been a wonderful time, and I'm going to close down now, finish this actual episode. And I want to thank all of my actual followers that follow me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do like and share. And know that we're always available. I will put Shira's information into the description. And of course, you know, my information will be on there too. So every single one of you, please stay out of the fear and into the light, because you are divine. And so it is. Bye now. Welcome, everyone, to another enlightening Ascension Wisdom Conversations. It is brought to you by Galactic Ascension Academy at SheilaTillich.com. Yes, this is the time to awaken and live your soul's mastery. I am a galactic grandmother, Sheila Tillich, and I invite you to relax and enjoy this time together as we discover our Ascension Wisdom Mastery. As souls, we have entered a higher dimensional reality as humans on planet Earth. This is the new energy consciousness. It has awakened our multidimensional spiritual DNA abilities, which are given to us by our